everyone and welcome back to my channel. I have a new video on my Author's Answer series today and we're talking about writing controversial topics. If you don't know anything about the Author's Answer series, it was started by J.D. Archer and I would link to all his info, his channel, his list of questions and the short video about why authors should do this type of video, answering the questions he's listed. I have been doing quite a few of these and I'm trying to post one Author's Answer video a week, and there's a playlist if you want to see the previous videos in this series, which I will link to down below. I will try to link the playlist in the info card as well, but if that doesn't work you will always find them in the description. On to our topic. Do I write controversial issues? Well, the simple answer is yes. The more complicated answer is that I don't always plan on writing controversial topics, but I try as much as I can to stay realistic and relatable when I create my characters. So sometimes some of them go through very difficult and morally gray situations and decisions and, life choices in general. The first highly controversial book I wrote was Brotherly, where two brothers fall in love. This happens when they are in their early teens, and while they are not blood related, they don't know that. They find out only later. And that impacts their life quite a bit because, if you think about it, it's the hardest thing that could happen to you. You feel like a complete freak because it's not right, it's not something people would accept, and siblings are not there for you to crush on, definitely. The book is written from the perspective of the younger brother, and he is extremely unhappy with himself. He thinks he's a bit of a monster and quite a pervert because he's completely in love with his brother and he can't deal with that in any meaningful way. He did his best to leave home early on. He went to college at 16. Although he wasn't a genius, he was very dedicated to his studies and sports because he was looking for a way out and for a way to fill his time that didn't involve his older brother. And he stays away from home and avoids visiting his parents and his brother because he feels guilty every time he comes home. Like I said, they are told pretty early on that they're not related. Their parents met and got married long after they were born. They had completely separate sets of parents, but they had been raised as siblings, and that is an extremely hard situation to deal with. And the reason why I wrote that was that the incestuous type of relationship is covered a lot in literature and other stories. Siblings who are related by blood somehow fall in love, or people who don't know they are related fall in love and find out about it later on. But I thought there are so many families that were pretty much patched together from other families. These are people who are not necessarily related by blood and who might feel attracted to each other. And what would happen then? How would you deal with that? How would it make you feel? Even if you know there isn't a blood connection, you've been told you are family all your life, or most of your life. So how do you deal with that? It was just a way of thinking about it, I guess. The other controversial topics that I have written about were, quite a bit of bullying covered in my Lover's Journey series, which is a tough pill to swallow. And I write gay romance. The topic is controversial to start with. I've had quite a few issues with people not liking my content. I've been told that I'm going to rot in hell if I don't repent and stuff like that. But I enjoy writing these books because I think they make people reevaluate their stance on things, especially when I set them in Romania, where things are far behind the UK or the US or any Western country, really. you have to remember homosexuality was still illegal here in the 1990s, so we haven't had quite as long of a period to get used to the idea, and the church is pretty adamant about trying to preserve the traditional family, which I think is bullshit anyway, because marriage is a legal contract, nothing more, nothing less. And I know from my own family's history of cases where marriages went to hell because people do stupid shit sometimes, and no gays were involved in ruining said families and increasing the divorce rate. I'm sorry. I would say that most of the topics I write are slightly controversial, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I've not met any person whose life has been a flat line of only good things and morally right decisions. We've all been into grayer areas, we've all had to deal with tough stuff that happened, with tough decisions, and with controversial topics that sort of force themselves on us. Because sometimes you're not a willing participant in things that happen around you. Scandals arise in your family or in your group or in your school, and you're pulled into this mess of things and you have to deal with it. And I'm a strong believer that books should reflect reality. And as long as there's controversy in the world, it should be reflected in art and literature. So yeah, that is a very long-winded way to say I do write controversial topics, and I think nobody should be afraid of them. Of course, you shouldn't force controversy just to have something cool going on in your book, but other than that, go forth and write it. Thank you so much for watching. I'd really like to read your views on this in the comments down below. If you're an author and want to do this type of video, please do so. They're fun to make. And there are more and more of us who do the Author's Answer series. It's fun and you can get inspired to do more videos for yourself. Please like this video if you've enjoyed it and consider subscribing to my channel. And as I'm doing Vlogtober this month, there will be another video from me tomorrow. Bye!